Well, it's Thursday, late in the day. You see the little bits of house wrap there. Those were some metal straps. So we passed the tie down inspection finally at 7071 here on Yellow the Iris. And then he got rained out. He just said, I'm not working no more. So it's the first layer, just cover those metal straps up and then it gets all wrapped. Now 52, 53, he did finish wrapping that whole thing today. Survey pins are in 66, 67. We're going to be building a house pad there, and all of a sudden, wham, I did not see this coming, but daggone 64, 65 is right upon me. So just put the permit box in there, had the trainee, and now I'm up to 38 customers. I have not introduced myself to them. Literally, I was just like, holy smokes, what do you mean? Because Bo McGee called me up and says, hey, 64, 65, ready for me to build a house pad tomorrow. And I was like, what? I didn't even know that was coming. So, anyway, held off on that and got the permit board in. Coming down Justin Timberlake, made some emails to pick up some pallets from the tile guys. Steve with North Florida Wall Systems, the long pallets and that 4x8 material. He's got to move that, throw away the pallets, but I got to start cutting driveways. It's time to go. Time to go. Another long pallet over there Steven's gonna get. This is the tile guys pallets, and that's Steven's siding material there. Still, he already told me order 20 sheets here, 20 sheets over there, and then there's not being used. I'm like, well, why did I order them? Day 2 of tape and finishing in 21, 22. And we got Jose and Luis coming tomorrow. We've got a reinspection here on 59, 58, 57, 56 tomorrow. There were 3 foam spots I missed. Inspector found him. He is a daggone Hawkeye on that foam stuff, man. But it doesn't bother me if he catches them and I didn't. It doesn't matter to me as long as we get them remedied. That's all I care about. Just get it right and move forward. Drywall hangers are in 23, 24. This is day 1 for them. That's with the one where we just got the material yesterday, late yesterday, so they're rocking and rolling. They got a bunch of chicken. The finishers got a bunch of chicken. Quan with home team, he didn't want to go home early, so he's inside pre-drilling for the that stuff ours. And we got rosin materials to dropping off the siding for over here. So here's 52, 53, house wrapped up. That got done today, and I let Brian know at Trimmed Eye Design we can now set the exterior doors. So there was not a huge crowd today, but I was able to get with a trainee and go over some kind of, I call it ninja stuff. And but you know, there's a lot of people say, where'd you learn all this? You know, and because I'm telling you, it's not on the internet. You go to take 10 construction management degrees. It's not, there's none of it's, there's no tool, there's no book on the little minute skills that I have. Way back in the day, I was my first assistant superintendent. I was underneath old man Richard, and the plan was that he was going to retire in 4 months, and then I would take over for him. And first job that Richard said, he says, grab a push broom. I already had one. He says, grab a push broom. He says, I want you to go in that building, sweep it all out, and count how many outlets there are. I came back. I told him how many outlets I counted. And he says, you're missing 3. Here's the electrical plan. I want you to go identify which ones are missing. And that was Richard. He was great. Now, but 2 months into that, he decided, hell's bells, he's going to retire now. And I was 60 days in, you know, to this, and I was absolutely terrified. In my mind, there was no way I was prepared, trained up enough. I mean, Richard told me a lot of stuff, but so he done retired. You know, his wife was sick and tired of him. You know, this job can't make you pretty grumpy, but he was a little grumpy. But long story short, was the very first. So they'd say, for instance, it was this house. I would say, for example, here it is. I wake up. Richard's now retired, and that is now mine. And so I walked in, and carpet guys were in there. And I still had a baby face, you know, and so they clearly thought I was green as grass, and I didn't even try to pretend like I was, you know, born 100 years ago. And the guy said to me, I asked him, I says, what do you wish that I knew about laying carpet, new carpet? And the guy says, you know, he stood straight up and he says, man, he says, how about you clean this damn floor? I'm like, excuse me? He goes, we're piece workers. And he explained what that is. He says, we get paid by the square foot of carpet, but we cannot lay the carpet over a dirty floor. So, I learned something there. I learned what piecework was. And then whenever I was going before carpet, I made sure to sweep up the carpeted areas. And it was a big hit. And I said, maybe I'm onto something. Maybe I'm not. Maybe. And so I would ask the electrician, what do you wish I knew about, you know, the troubles that you have? And then I just quickly tried to, whatever I could do to eliminate those problems or reduce them or do whatever. And so everything that's in between my ears, well, in between my ears, and behind my left ear, there's a tattoo that says inflate to 35 pounds. But everything I have learned is from these guys. Every single worker out here, when you put them all together, the collection of knowledge, experience, things they've seen that's good and bad, I just simply try to eliminate their roadblocks from having a successful trip out here. And I think this trainee Brian's really getting it. And you young superintendents out there, ask that question twice a day, once before lunch, once after lunch. Do not go home without asking it twice. After about 4 months of asking that question, you're going to start to really get a glimpse of how this really works. Not how it works on paper, but how people work. And then I tell the young supers, do not come up with your way of doing things. Now you can have way how you want things assembled, constructed right, you know, everything within code, within reason. Don't be stupid and give them more work than they're actually getting paid for. But meaning is you can then bend to how they want to work, and they will be happier, they'll work faster, they'll get it done better all around. So I really enjoy sharing all this knowledge, because my boss man, he says, why don't you do these training videos? And so I was like, well, okay. So I went on the YouTubes and I tried to find, now I have another channel that's just about training topics, but I did what any hardworking American did. I went on YouTube to see if there was videos of other superintendents that don't stutter as much as me, that don't, you know, better lighting, better camera action. Adios! And it's not out there. I cannot believe it. And I searched on the Google these little things that I do with these guys and for these guys and how we work together. It's just not out there. It ain't in the textbook. And so I think Brian is starting to get a glimpse. And he said, because I can't fit him in here, he's got to drive his own car. And so earlier in the day, we had framers up over here. We had a house wrap guys. I was coming down the road, and he had the window down. He says, all I could hear as you were driving down the road was all the guys. These aren't even my jobs. Was all the guys coming down here, and he could hear all of them yelling, hello, Gringo Loco, Gringo Loco. I get to drive in to that salutation. How about that? I love these guys.